All right, so Evan let Dino and Michael know that we can go ahead and get that level one down to $85 a month. All right, and then all you need to say, this is it. All right. So Michael, Dino, hey, great news. Brandon said we can go ahead and get that down to $85 a month. Let's go ahead and welcome you guys to the Amish family. Let's shake their hands. All right. That's all you need to do. After you get the price to where they want it, just say, let's go ahead and welcome you guys to the Amish family and shake their hands. Doesn't need to be a conversation because all you're potentially doing when you turn it into a conversation is just creating objections for yourselves. Yeah. Or you're going to talk yourselves out of it. And I know that because I've done it more times than every one of you guys in this room combined. All right. Talk myself out of it. It literally just needs to be, hey, great news, fantastic news. We can go ahead and get that for $24 a month. Let's go ahead and welcome you guys to the Amish family. And you shake their hands. Right. And they'll be like, okay, right on. Right. That's it. And then you get out the pay, and then you go in your price book, you pull out the credit application, and you have them start filling out the credit application. If they don't write legibly, you fill it out for them. Okay. And that's literally all the close needs to be. And then me or Jake will say, hey, great job. Make sure you work on your referrals if you didn't get any, and send us a picture when you're done so we can make sure we have all the information correctly. All right.
So get them, they filling out the form, right? So they're done filling out the form. So what's the process after like they trying to figure out if they have any questions about like credit check?
All right.
How fast does that take?
Like how quickly they can get approved. So we can get them sometimes depending on so each finance company runs an algorithm, right? Some people get approved instantly. Some people will go to a pending status and an actual reviewer will have to look at it. So it can depend, but typically that's why we have you guys send it to us because we can get them instant approved and we can set up the install date and get it installed. We like to try and get installs done as soon as possible, right? Because the sooner it gets installed, the sooner you guys can get paid, right?
One thing is, so like with the credit application, if I'm buying something, if I was interested, I fill out the credit application. That's what I feel comfortable doing that. If someone were to start to take a picture of that right in front of me, that would actually make me uncomfortable. Oh, wait a minute, you're gonna have all my info on your phone now. So you're saying, should we just wait until once we get done with them? Maybe give them heads up, hey, we're gonna hear from us tomorrow. We'll get you approved. I would go find me a picture.
So if you feel weird about it, just bring it into us. Most people don't care.
Okay.
Right? Like most people don't care, but if you feel weird about it or if you feel uncomfortable, we're not going to make you feel uncomfortable. Just bring it in. All right. Yeah, I've always just taken pictures and sent it over. No one really questions it unless you question it.
Okay.
But if it's something that you're not comfortable with,
No,
then bring it in.
I'm just curious if they were to say something.
So if I take the picture and send it over, I wait to get back up.
Yep. So as soon as you send it over, we'll work on getting it approved. Now, if you're running to a quick appointment, like if you have like if this appointment went to 2 hours, whatever, and you're trying to get to another appointment, whatever, then go to your next appointment and we'll call them and set up the install for you guys. But yeah, so the post close is also another key part. So let's say they get it, they fill out the credit application, or they get it, they pay on a credit card. They want to pay on a credit card. I send them an invoice and they can pay the invoice. If they pay on a check, just bring the check to us.
Send me an email.
The invoice. Yep. Yep. The invoice will just come through like a QuickBooks email.
So that would be part of they have a slot.
Yeah, you would just send me, I'll get that information from you. So this is also why we get like the address, the phone number, the name of the customer, because if they do pay that way, that's what I have to put in for the invoice. So then all I would need from you is just, hey, yep, just send me his email real quick. Send me his email, I'll just shout over to him, he can pay. So when it comes to the close and you ask them, can we go ahead and welcome, or which one would you pick? And you say, can I welcome you guys to the Amish family? Say, we need to think about it. Okay. All right, so Dino, Michael, what is it that you guys want to think about? What can I do to kind of help you guys out? You want to go over your finances real quick? All right, so I'm just going to step out real quick. You guys can go ahead and go over your finances real quick, and I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes, okay? Just walk out. All right. You can give them the time to think about it, right? Or if some people they say they want to think about it, or that's the other thing too. If I'm on the phone with you guys, I don't usually stay on the phone until I hear them give me an answer, right? If I'm gonna utilize Jerry for an example last week with the protection that he had, right, for Nathan, right? He gave Nathan the price, and Nathan didn't give him an answer real quick, and Jerry just wanted to start spewing. Just keep your mouth shut. Okay, just be quiet. Right? We just went over a network. We just gave him a lot of information. We just gave him a price. And we just gave something that fits his budget. Give him a minute, or her a minute, or them a minute to process what you just told him. And that's all. That's all Nathan was doing. He was just calculating in his head what if that payment was affordable. And then, but as a safety advisor, you might start feeling uncomfortable. If you feel like you got it, you want to keep talking. Don't. Promise you, just be quiet. Answer their question if they ask you a question, but if they're not asking you a question, don't say anything. Right? You don't need to. Right? You've given them everything they wanted. Now just let them make their decision. So as they're making that decision, right? So I'm gonna Jerry to use for example. So I'm talking to Jerry, and Jerry's like, "Can we go ahead and look at the Amish family?" And the guy just like hesitates. He's like, "Oh, well, let me do some numbers real quick." And the guy's computing in his head. He's like, "Well, do you want to just like go get a cigarette and think about it and talk it over?" And I'm like, "Jerry, like, shut up." Right? So Jerry and I have this relationship, right? A little bit different, military side of it. But I look at him and said, "Jerry, shut up." And he's like, "Well, I'm just, he's a smoker like me." I'm like, "Jerry, let the man think." But this will also tell you, Jerry will tell you his first thing is his weakness. He doesn't like silence. So he keeps talking, but you don't need to. Right? So the guy's still sitting there chatting, and then I hear Jerry start talking. I'm like, "Jerry, you say one more word to this man while he's trying to think about his payment, you can walk to your next appointment." He has no vehicle. I can't make him walk, right? So he starts laughing, and then the guy literally just goes, "Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it." But there was nothing that Jerry was going to say that was going to convince him. The guy just needed time to make his decision. Yeah. So don't put your foot in your mouth by trying to tell them to by talking to them, right? Just be quiet, sit back, relax. If you want, we'll sit on the phone with you so it's not like so uncomfortable and awkward. You don't need to stare at them, right? You can just look around at your stuff while you're just chatting with me. You can start telling me a story about their family, right? Just something to kill the silence if you want it to not be so awkward, all right? But it's only awkward silence if you make it awkward silence, right? If a customer, when you go over and you flip open the price book and the customer tells you, "Whoa, that's expensive," just continue going with your close. You know it's expensive, right? We all know this network is expensive, but expensive in terms of what? It's a lifetime warranty. It's a one-time investment. So yeah, it's a little bit of a larger investment, but it's a large investment for a long-term gain. And it saves you money, right? So yeah, we already know it's expensive, right? And like we said, these aren't cheap. But if it saved Grayson and Colt one time, what's that mean to you? Or what is that worth to you? Everything. Yep. And you can reiterate that, right? So if he goes, "Well, that's expensive," like, huh? And if they're still on that train, you're like, "Hey, but remember, this saved Colt and Grayson just one time. What's that worth to you?" Everything. All right. And then you just keep going through it. All right. So now let's find a budget. Let's find something let's find a budget that fits. Find a number that fits your budget. Right? And you just keep going. Right? We already know it's expensive, but we also all know that cheap things or good things don't come cheap. And cheap things are never good. Right? So any questions on that? So you had an objection, or one of you two had an objection earlier.
I was asking, if somebody that said they like the option two price, but that's not premium protection for their house. Like,
Yep. So that's when we go, hey, Terry, so you like that Optimum too because of that budget? All right, well, let me go ahead and give Brandon a call. Let me go ahead and give Katie a call and let's see if we can get what we can do for you guys. All right. And so if you say you like level 2 for that budget, that's when I always ask them, well, Terry, if I can get level 1 for that same budget, would you guys want level 1? I'm back. Yeah, because you guys like the level 2 budget. Right. So hey, if I can get you your optimum protection for that level 2 budget, should we go ahead and welcome you guys to the Michelle family?
Yes.
Fantastic. Shake his hand because you just got him committed. Because I'll tell you right now, 9.9 times out of 10, I'm going to be able to get that level 2 budget for that optimum protection.
Is that just the monthly price? Oh,
The monthly price. Yeah, the one-time investment stays the one-time investment. If they want to pay in full, they get a 5% discount. But other than that, it's a budget. But then here we go as well, right? You guys are all in the world of sales. For your family and friends, the 5% discount pay in full, yeah, right. But if you're with a customer and they say they're going to pay in full and they don't say anything about wanting a discount, are you going to give them a discount? Why? That's money out of your pocket.
Right.
And they don't have a problem with the price. Right? So you don't need to give them a discount unless they ask for it. Right? Right. All right, so here we go. Yep. So there's two different options. All right. And when we tell you guys this isn't, you guys don't need to start spewing these numbers. That's what I'm saying. This is just stuff that you guys have in your toolbox. So we utilize two finance companies. All right. One will do a little bit higher of a monthly payment, but they can do a 90-day deferment. Okay. So that means their first payment's not for 90 days, so 3 months. We have another company that does a super low monthly payment, but there's no deferment. Okay. The standardized credit or the standardized interest for the super low payment is 9.99 APR. That means over the total year, they're only going to pay 9.99%. Okay. So what that breaks down to monthly, I couldn't tell you. I'm not a finance guy, right? But we just tell them it's 9.99 APR. So it's an annual interest. APR.
No deferment.
No deferment. Now the company that offers the deferment, they're a higher interest rate because they're like a credit card, which is why when people say like, so the one that wants the 90-day, their standard interest rate is 19.99 APR again, the whole year. Okay.
What was that one?
19.99. All right. But now again, when people ask you, if people don't ask you what the interest rates are, don't start spewing numbers. Right? That's just if they have the questions. Okay. There is no month terms. These are revolving credit lines. The reason why we like revolving is it gives the customer the flexibility to pay it off as soon as they want without any fees, or they can take the duration and pay it off with a minimum payment. So whatever that minimum payment is roughly divided by their total investment is roughly how many months. And then if you want to add a couple for the interest rate, that's ballparking what it's going to be. Okay. So it's revolving and then it gives them the flexibility to pay it off sooner. So if someone has a good month or a good year and they want to pay more and they want to pay it off, there's no fees for it. So that's why we utilize the revolving. If you use a installment loan, which was a certain amount every single month until it's paid off and you paid it off earlier, odds are you're probably going to run into some kind of payoff fee. That's traditionally what happens. All right. So those are the two finance companies that we utilize. But don't get in the habit if you're running constantly into getting financing sales, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get a paid in full one. All right. And I'm going to pick on Corey. He just got off here. right? Corey went and ran a demo, right? And I went and watched his demo because he asked me to. And when he asked for this lady if we could welcome her to Hampshire family, she said yes. All right. And he immediately just pulled out his credit app and went to enter the credit app. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, she said she welcome to the Hampshire family." I said, "Would you ask her how she was going to pay for it?" And he's like, "Well, I just assumed financing." And I was like, "Mary Jo, would you like to?" I was like, "Mary Jo, how would you like to pay for this? Would you want to do the monthly investment or do you want to pay in full?" And she goes, "Well, can I do 2 separate credit card payments? Like, can I put half down now and then the other half when you guys do the install?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." There you go. Right. But he just assumed it was financing. So don't just assume it's financing. And then I asked Mary Jo, I said, "Now, Mary Jo, can you just tell Corey why you want to do it with a credit card?" "Well, for every $750 I spend on this credit card, I get $10 back." So $5,200 sale, she's got what, $40 back, $50 back, something like that. And that's so people will utilize credit cards if they have, you got to ask it. If you don't ask for a credit card, they're not going to do it. So typically when I like to ask, and we go to the total investment, so that's a today investment of just 5210 or a monthly investment of 120. So for the total investment, Terry, we do cash check, credit cards. If you have one of those credit cards where you get like a lot of points or anything like that, that's a great option, or we can go ahead and do that for you, right? Because people aren't thinking about the points they get from their credit cards, right? You got to ask them, right? So any questions on any of this? All right. So one last thing, and then we're tying it up because it's something that none of us do. None of us in this room, myself included, when we do the post close. And you're talking about offering them opportunity to come work here. All right, that's when you go through the magazine. All right, we're gonna cover more on that Thursday because that's about an hour segment. I'm gonna keep you guys here another hour. All right. When you're doing the post close, have the family, while one's filling out the credit app, if they're both just sitting there, have the other one go on Google and post a review about you. We're getting into the age now where the internet is king, right? So people go on the internet, they look for stuff. Okay. When you Google our company name, we have a pretty good first page. Our first page looks pretty good on Google, right? We have almost a five-star rating and 80-something reviews. And then if you scroll down, it's just all the little Facebook videos that we post about fire safety. That's a pretty good image when people research us, right? Because let's be honest, how many people after they do the initial research are going to go to multiple pages on Google? They don't. They just do the quick initial one. All right. So now if they go to the reviews and they look at the reviews and they see positive reviews about you, what's that customer going to think about you? Amazing, right? And if these families love you, have them it takes 2 minutes to log on to Google, type in a quick review. It doesn't need to be anything extensive. Just have them say they had a great time and Dino was their rep, or tell them what they liked most about the appointment and Dino was the rep. That's all you got to do. So people like your friends, your family, people you guys have already seen, they want to help you, right? Google reviews are one of the best ways they can help you, right? Because that's a testimonial that you can carry with you and you can show customers, right? So that's what we talk about in the post close, right? So after you're doing the credit app and you're doing that, quit talking about finances. That's gonna be rule number one, right? Because you don't want to end up saying something that's going to trigger something or confuse them. So after they're filling out the credit app, quit talking about finances. Talk about their plans for the week, talk about what they got going on, and then ask them about a Google review if they don't mind. Okay, and then have them go on there and do that for you. Okay. But that was one of the things that Brandon Seacrest, who is the regional director out in Washington, that brought up. He said a lot of things that people don't realize is an internet presence. Said if you guys, and he had everyone in the office, everyone in that room, go Google their business. Right? And you would be shocked at what some of these businesses found. Not necessarily bad things, but there was nothing about them. They're like a ghost company. Now that's not going to prevent people from making sales, but it could, right?
A lot easier.
Sure is, right? So, and that's why I brought this part up right now. Right? You guys have friends, family, best friends, right? Go write reviews about each other. Right? There's nothing that says, Charles, that you can't go write a review about every person here. Right? There's nothing that says any of that. Now, is that the habit you want to get into? No. You want to go have the customers do it so it's an actual legitimate, right? But your wife, right? Your family, your friends, customers that you see. There you go. And I know our installer team is going to start making sure they do that if it doesn't get done in the home. All right. So the customer talks about their whole experience. Right. Any other questions? Said I know that was a lot. I don't know how long it takes to upload things on YouTube, but this will all go on YouTube and I'll share the link so you guys can rewatch it. Biggest takeaway from it, take your time in the demo. And don't skip. What you might skip because you think it's redundant or not important to you might be what makes the family want to protect their family. Okay. Other than that, that's all I got. Tara. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Have a great day.
Yep, have a good one.
Hey, do me a favor. Oh, he already got off. Corey was like, fuck this. Hey, Jay, Bobby.
Yeah.
What's up,
Or is that Corey or Bobby?
Bobby? I'm feeling like shit right now.
I'm sorry, man. If it makes you feel any better, you sounding like shit sounds like Corey all the time. So, hey, if you guys don't do me a favor, go in the group chat, our office group chat, and post something that stood out to you the most today.
Okay. Not a problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, bud.
Have a good
Yep, see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. All right, so I want you guys to do the same thing. Go in there and post one thing that stood out the most to you because it might be something different for each and every one of you. And I know this was a lot of information in a pretty short period of time. So it can just be something that someone can reflect on or it triggers a memory in their brain that they can remember until these videos go on YouTube and get time to watch them. All right. Other than that, that is all I got for now. Said I know a couple of you have follow-ups with friends, family from this weekend. You have one appointment today? Okay, but you need to follow up with your parents?
But that one is fixing his house, so that was more of a different date.
Okay.
But he does want it.